And where winds meet to make your building character super powerful, there's not only a ton of gear that you need, but a ton of materials to upgrade all of your gear, your stats, your inner ways, mystic arts, and a lot more. And I'm going to show you how to get all of your rare materials practically infinitely, and even show you how to get some of the best inner way nodes, upgrade them 2 or even 3 levels in this no BS guide to easily max out your character. Let's go. But I want to talk about our mystical skills and how you can get a lot of these upgrade materials extremely easy. This is going to require a bunch of materials, and if you don't prepare now, you're going to find yourself stuck, but I'll show you what to do now to make sure you have everything for when they unlock. Now first, to upgrade the actual skills themselves, you'll need Ebon Iron, which I'll go through how to get a ton of in a minute, but as you break through your skills to the next tier, you will need Ebon Iron, but also different rare materials. For free morph, we need these Buddhist tear roots. For the Drunken Poet skill, we need Vicious Fruit. Dragon's Breath, we need Jade Tower Pearls. Now some of these materials are finite and you need to make sure you're farming them, otherwise you're not going to have enough. To give you an example, for Drunken Poet, we need Vicious Fruit. Now one of the cool ways to get these is through your Mystic Skills Breakthrough support boxes, which you've heard me talk about previously, where you can just select which materials you need. This is by far the easiest way. You can get these generally through your Battle Pass shop, but mainly through your Seasons shop, and each week these will refresh. It will cost you 5,000 total of your Jade Fish, and you can get 10 of these boxes. You should buy these every week, but all of these materials you can actually gather in the open world. You can see if we get Vicious Flowers here, it will take us directly to the area where Vicious Flowers currently are. Most of this I've already farmed out. If we click on this, you will always get Vicious Flowers and sometimes have a chance to get the Vicious Fruit, which is the rare material. Again, you won't get this all the time, which is why you have to farm a decent amount of these. If we look at our Buddhist Tear Root, we can also gather these on the map in different areas. Some spots have only one plant, but other spots, like some of these I've already farmed, can have up to 8 or 10. Now if we look at specific areas here, you can notice once we clear an area out, it actually has a timer of 24 hours. Well, you're stuck, but if you farm these ahead of time before the unlock, you can make sure you have 15 for here and enough to upgrade without having to wait. And you're gathering a lot of these rare materials on a daily basis to try and stack up as many as you can. You can also get Mystic Skills Breakthrough boxes through the Battle Pass shop, as well as the different challenges under the events menu. For instance, Lumina Guide for the first area. You can see by gathering resources and doing other challenges here, we can actually get a bunch of these Mystic Skills Breakthrough boxes as well, even the Lumina Guide in Kai Feng, and you'll be surprised at the amount of the boxes you can get from completing a lot of these. And you can easily just click here and it will point you directly to the resource so you can complete them super easy. Before you waste your time gathering, if you go to your bag icon and go under consumables, you can see we actually have different foods here. And to give you an example, this pancake food will actually give us a 20% chance for extra harvests from herb gathering, meaning we can get those rare materials and more of them way easier. Consume this so you get the extra buff. And these are actually super easy to get. If you just come into Kai Feng and go to the Apricot Village teleport, you can come to this building at the top left, and all you have to do is talk to Fu Ling. To unlock the pancake or the better option, you'll have to buy the signature dish, and then you can use your commerce coins to buy a bunch of this food. This is definitely the best food in the entire game. Now, on top of upgrading your mystic skills between tiers, you're going to need that tier's level of Ebon Iron. Now, there's really only some main ways to farm this. If you're looking under your menu, you can go to Wandering Paths, you can go to Challenges, and then just go under Sword Trial and select Joint Battle. Here you can see we will get 19 level 2 Ebon Irons, and this will differ depending on the level of difficulty. So if you're a lower level and you're having difficulty, you can start at the lower level ones and work your way up. But if you notice, level 4 only currently gives us 15 level 1s, and level 6 will give us 19 level 2s. The important thing is whether they're level 1 or level 2 doesn't matter. You should always go for whichever one gives you the most. Even if you're upgrading a skill in tier 1, you can still use level 2s to do that. You can use the higher level ones to substitute for the lower level ones. The only difference is by doing a harder difficulty, we get more of them, and more is better. And you can see if we run out of the level 1s here, we can check mark and use higher grades. So again, just focus on getting more of them and you'll be farming these as efficient as possible. Now, there are a ton of open world exploration rewards that will give you some of these Ebon Irons as you're just exploring the game. But you can also repeat outposts to also get Ebon Irons as well. Again, this scales with our levels, so if you want to go back and do one of the starter areas, you'll notice as you level up, this will still give you 19 level 2 Ebon Irons, and it only costs you 20 energy. Now I'm going to show you how to max out your inner ways or upgrade them at the fastest possible rate. That way you can break them through and get the much better buffs. Now you'll get inner ways again through doing tons of different exploration quests throughout the game. But again, our season shop specifically will have all of the weekly rewards that you can get. And you should be buying all of these each week except for the coins. Specifically, this means that you can get 20 here and 20 inner-way chests here. Now, there's also a vendor that sells inner-way chests, and you can find him right here at the top of Kaifeng. All you have to do is go down here to the entrance and talk to the guard to bribe him. He'll let you in, and you can immediately come in and buy 20 of those chests super easy. Also, for completing the food stall vendors and buying out their food, they will also reward you with rewards like inner-way chests. But one of the best ways to get these is specifically through outpost challenges or sword trials. This will allow you to farm way more of them quickly, but by spending 60 energy, you can get 3 random inner-way chests, and then you can actually select the individual inner-way sections that you need. That way you can ideally target the main notes that you're looking for. Now, in Blissful Retreat in the first region, there's also a vendor right here that actually sells individual notes. You can check with him and buy the Moral Chant notes here, which is one of, in my opinion, the best inner-way fragments available. And there's also another merchant down here in Kaifeng at the Harbor Link Crossing that once you visit him will allow you to buy again even more Moral Chant notes, but a bunch of other ones as well. The way to target and get the rest of the inner-way notes you need is using the tips exchange, and this is one of the most important mechanics in the game. This basically allows you to recycle some of these. So for the blue ones you can get 2 book plates, for the purples you can get 5 book plates, and for the yellow legendary ones you can get 10 book plates. If you're locked into a build for the season and you know I definitely don't need any of these, you can take those and turn those into a ton of book plates. And if you haven't done this a lot yet, you can easily get 150 to 300 of these that you can then spend on the actual notes that you need. If we decide to confirm this and get 25 book plates out of this, we'll get those book plates, and then we can spend those on 5 of the ones we actually need. The Sword Horizon is the one we want. The other of these we can just recycle and re-roll. Keep in mind we spent 25 book plates to get these. If we recycle both of these, we'll get 20 book plates, and then both of these will get a total of 30. Keep in mind some of the general legendary ones will give 10 book plates, but the more specific legendary ones, like the ones for your weapons or martial arts, actually give 15. So if we recycle the 4 that we didn't need, being one of those, one of these, and both of these, we actually now get 33 book plates. Not only did we get a legendary note that we need to give us 10 to maybe do a potential upgrade now, but also we profited 8 book plates for free on top of getting one of the notes we needed. Again, you can keep doing this with hundreds of different book plates to upgrade your skills super fast. And finally, if we go to develop and we go to our improvement guide, we also have a path guide here for challenges that gives us a ton of free Echo Jade as well. You can complete these just by doing the specific things for the different weapon sets, like putting on a full piece of a set or upgrading a weapon just to a certain level. But also if you go to Path Challenge Rewards, you can see you also get free inner-way notes for your individual weapons or sets that you really need just by completing a certain amount of these challenges. So you should make sure you're completing them so you don't miss out on these. And also under all Path Challenge Rewards, you can get an absolutely crazy ton of inner-way chests again that make you get even more to upgrade your inner-way fragments even farther. Especially some of the easier ones you can do super fast. Now to upgrade your weapons and break them through from different tiers, you're going to need these martial art breakthrough materials, which again we can get from the weekly shop. And again, we can easily get a ton of those through these martial arts custom tips chests that are available in the weekly shop. As of right now, if you're buying these out every single week, you'll have a ton of these left over for upgrading your weapons as we go. Also from upgrading your martial arts in between tiers, you'll need typical materials like this. Now you can gather these from specifically obtaining them from mobs, which you can mark on your map and easily target them so that way you can get the materials that you need for upgrading. These mobs will also drop important things like Oscillating Jades. However, some of these materials you can also buy directly from the Battle Pass shop that you can get through some of these different custom martial art chests. But more importantly is enhancing your actual gear slots overall. You can take advantage of the next phase bonus that you get for having a specific average level. Now when upgrading these, you'll notice you'll need specific materials. Most of these materials like fur or whatever material you need, you can just target them on the map to get the materials that you need. However, for these regular materials, the easiest way is to just simply buy them at a goods vendor, like this one for instance in the starter area. Here we can talk to this vendor, and if you click on the item you need, it will point you to specific general goods vendors that have the required material, but weekly these restock. Even this general goods vendor in Kaifeng will offer you some of the more rare materials as well. You can see we can buy some of the weekly materials, including some of the rare ones, things like Dushan's Jade, the Fat Tail Sheepskin, and even things like Cold Iron. If you want to save the coins, you can still come in here and target things like Cold Iron, which you can see we have a lot of. as well as the Dushan Jade, and other materials, so you can still easily get it for free. Now, one way to get infinite crafting materials, whether it's the rare or typical gear upgrade stuff, is to simply go to any outpost where enemies are offering that specific resource. So for instance, if we need resin to upgrade our gear, we can easily stack up on hundreds if not thousands of it super fast by visiting an outpost with those enemies. Take this one for instance, where there's a barrel that you can blow up 4 enemies at once. Then you can just loot them, get a ton of resources, and use your mechanic to fly in the air. As long as you jump and do the second jump high, you can hit your button to immediately slam to the ground, and this outpost will have been reset, meaning you can do this over and over again for unlimited materials. All you have to do is make sure you don't kill every enemy in this area, and it won't actually go on a timer. You can just easily reset it by going in the air. By completing the cat challenges in the world, you can talk to the Meow Meow vendor in the first initial area, and you can actually buy out all of the Oscillating Jade here, as well as the small box of commerce coins. This is important because you can actually get 25,000 of these, meaning you can buy basically any food from any vendor on the map and buy an absolute ton of it. As you visit most food vendors, you want to make sure you max them out and buy as much food as you can to max them out and complete their quest line, because when you do, you actually get elegance points for completing gourmet mode options. The same for also petting the individual kittens you'll find across the map. The reason you want to make sure that's leveled up is because in your exploration skills, you actually can get the treasure seeker perk, and it actually shows you the closest chest on your mini map in both areas if you have at least 75 perception and at least 75 elegance, which I'm currently working on. But again, no matter where you are, this will show you the closest chest to you, meaning you can go and just find every chest in the game way faster and get all the jade and all the good rewards from them by simply just having this perk. Now again, as part of those gear enhancement upgrades, you're also going to need a ton of Oscillating Jade. And the Treasure Seeker perk helps with that a ton by allowing you to get some from tons of different chests. Keep in mind, different NPCs, if you kill them, can also drop some Oscillating Jade as well. But also this is something you can buy again weekly for a free weekly 100 Oscillating Jade, which you're going to want to buy out every single time. But also, if you go to Wandering Paths and Challenges again, challenges like the Sword Trials will also give you 9 Oscillating Jade every time you complete them. It does cost 60 energy, but you're going to be doing these trials anyways, so this is definitely a free source. Not to mention, at the same ratio, you can also get 3 Oscillating Jade from completing individual outposts, but other Battle Pass challenges and regular quest challenges can also reward you with Oscillating Jade and just doing things and completing things throughout the game. Now, as you level up, eventually you'll unlock your arsenal, and what this essentially does is uses your gear to basically give you free bonuses. So once we upgrade past level 41 and get into level 51 gear, we no longer need our level 41 gear. What should we do with that gear? Well, we just come in here and click, and we can add it to our arsenal. And since this is old gear and we no longer need it, we just put it in here and we get our free damage buffs from it. The big thing here is if you go over your total mastery cap, it doesn't hurt you nor help you. You just need to be at least at the maximum to get the maximum bonus. Keep in mind, this means we should be upgrading our gear every single tier, because once we go to the next one, we need upgraded gear to put in here. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to max out our mastery. Now, also tuning stones are super important, because as we level up, we want to tune our gear. That way we can get these special buffs to our weapons. You can see, like this one that's maxed out, we currently have a ton of buffs and an attunement as well. The attunement is something you can use an attunement stone on, which again you can get from the sword trials, as well as the Heroes Realm rewards. You can get these for free every week without spending any energy, so it's important you do these each time. But the important thing with tuning is if we are tuning a tier 51 piece to make it more powerful, then we have to use tier 51 gear that's left over that we no longer need in order to count towards this. Now, if we were to take this blue piece and click it, we could then get 20 points to upgrade it to the next tier. If we were to click the purple weapon, it's a little bit more rare, so it would actually give us 30 points towards this. Now, these options that show XP mean that it will provide increased XP as 30. So since this would regularly give us 20, that means we would get 20 plus that 30, we would get a total of 50, meaning we're almost basically maxed out. And with the purple, we would normally get 20, but we get increased as 40. That's a total of 60, so that one piece alone will give us the max upgrades. Keep in mind, something like this pendant that has the purple icon on it, considering this is also a piece we've already tuned in the past, it means it will give us not only a ton of XP, but it'll make the next one that we have actually an epic or legendary attribute. But also you'll get tuning stones for your individual tiers. You should always use your extra leftover gear to tune your new gear in that same tier. And if you ever run out of gear, then you can use your tuning stones for that tier to tune your gear that way. Keep in mind, you don't really have to save these, because once you get past tier 51 gear, these tuning stones are basically useless because you'll need the next tier of tuning stone to upgrade. One thing though you have to make sure you don't do is do not use the regular tuning stones. Save these until you either need them or they just go out of existence, because these work on any tier of gear. Because let's say we get to level 71 gear, you can now use these tuning stones on level 71 gear if you happen to need them. Again, it can take something like these dual blades from level 115 mastery and easily turn them into over 200, meaning they are insanely more powerful. So you should be maxing out your tuning on all of your new gear's weapons. But also, if you have problems finding specific tiers of your gear, whether that's because you need extra gear to tune or you need better gear, and the way to easily farm those again is going to your challenges and doing your hero's realm so you get the upgraded tier for whatever gear you're missing, but also doing sword trials so that way you can get these higher tier level chests. You get 6 of these for spending 60 energy, and then you can select which one you want so you can target the specific set you want. Again, also in the season shop for the weekly sets. Typically I wouldn't recommend buying these unless you absolutely need them, but by all means, if you're struggling to get that tier 51 thing that you really need, it really doesn't hurt you that bad. Come in here and just spend 1500 jade fish so you know you can get an upgrade. Now finally, completing your trials and your taping mausoleum can actually give you a ton of free rewards that probably you haven't gotten yet. And that's because you look at these challenges and see all the things you have to do. But guess what? You don't have to do all this, because if you look at the rewards here, for max rewards and completing a lot or all of these, you really just get kind of cosmetic items for your avatar or badges. You want to make sure you come in here and complete all of these, but just to level 3 or whatever the first reward is. And you can do that by completing 3 of the objectives shown below. We would get these rewards for the free Echo Jade and the Oscillating Jades, which are valuable. And again, it works the same way with all of these challenges. You can see if we complete 2 of these, we get tier 51 attunement stones guaranteed. And these will continue to give us more and more rewards by just completing basically the bare minimum. So come in here and do these. Again, there's also an entire other menu here for Kai Fang. As we complete these, we get inner way chests, even lingering melodies, and a ton of different rewards. Also, your taping mausoleum gives you a ton as well. You just have to do these trial tasks and complete, so you get the total 3 out of 3 diamonds. When you do these and go to your mausoleum rewards, you can see by completing each one with 3 diamonds, you get 240 Echo Jade a piece for each one of these, as well as 45,000 coins for each one. It's a ton of currency here, so make sure you're maxing these out. The same goes for Divine Challenge. You also want to come in here once you complete that initial foundation trial and do the Divine Challenges, and you can get rewards for those just the same. Gold or even Echo Jades that you want to get. You can easily come into the bounty area. You can go to quests like Vendetta and complete these basic bounties. The cool thing is this doesn't cost you any energy, and you can do as many of these as you want. Also, you can easily max out your Jade fish this way in a matter of like 10 minutes every single week. So if you want to make sure you don't miss out on your Jade fish, but you don't have time to grind it all, you can easily do bounties like this and max it out super fast. The same goes for coins. If you need coins, this is also an easy free way to get coins pretty quickly if you have no other method. If you follow that, you should know how to farm every material in the game super fast and how to farm most of this stuff weekly to be super efficient and upgrade all of your stuff. If this video was helpful, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new, and check out either of these 2 videos on stuff you shouldn't miss in Where Winds Meet.